Hey everybody, this is Mark Ellert here. Today I'm going to share with you the power of appreciation. It's something that I've actually learned to be grateful for, appreciating things rather than actually just dwelling on things and being so negative about it. Some of you may have seen my previous videos like gratitude journaling, negative filter. This is a similar concept to that. It's kind of an elongated version because this is something, it's been an ongoing issue that I've had for a long time in my life. It's part of my personality that I was able to become aware of and start to change my perspective. Because that's the thing, I wasn't grateful for things. I didn't appreciate the compliments and the good things. It was so easy for me to just be focused on the negative of everything. Perfect example, like constructive criticism. The point of constructive criticism is to be constructive. It's actually done with good intent to try to help you. It's not there to just criticize and make you feel like crap, but that's the way that I took it. That's my personality type. Some of you may know I'm an entertainer. Like, for instance, if I'm getting out there playing music, doing some comedy, or doing some speaking, when people give me feedback, it was just so easy for me to take the negative out of the feedback. Even if it was, yo, Mark, that was awesome. You did great. You killed it. They would list like 10 things that I did good at. Then it would just be that one thing. They're like, but there's that thing that you could maybe work on this a little bit. And that's the one thing I would focus on. The one negative thing they said, that's what I would literally take away from the whole thing. Just the negative. They would say 10 things that were good and one thing that was bad. I would take that one thing and magnify it to make it more than that 10. That one in my head was outweighing the 10. I got to go back to math school. For real, everybody, it's the power of your perspective. Because I wanted that one thing to be so powerful, it was. It's just all I could stare at and look at. It's because I wasn't appreciating the good things that were said. Part of my insecurities, it's part of my personality. Again, dwelling on the negative and just it's what I saw. But I became aware of it. I became aware of how detrimental it was to my mental health. I eventually just started to back it up. Like, look, Mark, be realistic, dude. This is just use your rational mind. They just said 10 things that were good and positive about what you did tonight. They said one thing that was negative, and they said it with good intent. It was constructive criticism because they want you to improve that. You can take that and not just be focused on why you did bad at it. You can take that and be like, okay, these are the good things I did good at. That's awesome. The one thing, now I know that I'm not doing great at it. So this is good feedback. I can work on it to improve it. Don't just stare at it and make it think it was devastating and it's something that you just can't fix and you're done and just give up. Because that was my old personality type. When there was that one thing that I felt I was being criticized, I wouldn't want to try to fix it. I would just literally tell myself that I was so bad at it that there's no point in trying. I would let that one thing outweigh those 10. Again, when you're doing math, I mean, that's like somebody getting a 90% on a test. I had 90% of that right and it went well, and there's just that 10%. That's an A minus. That's still really damn good. And I graduated. I passed it, but it was still easy for me to stare at that A minus. I don't like that minus. Perfect another example. It's an A, but I'm looking at the minus. I'm just looking at the negative aspect of it. I wasn't looking at I got an A for awesome. I was looking at that little negative dash next to it, which put a whole new connotation over it. It made me see it as negative. That's my personality. Literally is who I was. I just saw the negative out of things. Didn't know how to take the good out of it for what I was doing and the information people were giving me and the feedback. It's just easy for me to take that criticism, but it's what I was drawn towards. I was gravitating and drawn towards the negativity because that's just my perspective. That's who I was. It's not what they were saying to me. It's just what I was grabbing out of it because of my own personal perspective. That's how I felt about myself, that I wasn't very good about things. So it was easy for me to take other people's feedback and put my own twist on it. I would put my perspective on what they were giving me to make it that much more. But everybody, you got to remember, constructive criticism is there to construct and help you. They're there to help you. They're not trying to destroy you. Remember it that way, because that's what I did. I would take that constructive criticism and make it destructive. I would literally kill the energy, the high I got from the night, just take away from my presentation or whatever I did, and just let it destroy my energy. But that was a used to, everybody. That was in the past. That's when I became aware of it. I started changing my perspective. I started appreciating those good things people were saying and didn't just keep the focus on the negative. Appreciation, everyone, and gratitude. Be grateful for those things, even though they feel small to us. They're much bigger than those small little things that people said. Take the gratitude out of it. Take the good things that people want to give you feedback for. Appreciate those things, and don't just always just feel the need to just be destructive to yourself and just be negative. Appreciate those small things because it can be empowering. The more you start to appreciate those things, the more you recognize and appreciate those good things people are saying, the more you start putting those other things on the back burner. The more you start using it as construction to help yourself and not break yourself down and destroy you. So that's the way it's supposed to be, everybody, is to be grateful and appreciate the good in your life. Like, perfect. If you guys saw my previous video, gratitude journaling, it'd be easy for me at night to lay in bed wide awake, trying to fall asleep, but just constantly thinking about all the things that went wrong for the day. Even if they were so minuscule and so tiny, I would magnify it. I would literally make it devastating to the point where it's very unnecessary. I start noticing those small things I'm thinking about, and I start realizing how minuscule they are and how unimportant. I start remembering the things that I'm grateful for that I did. When I notice myself picking apart those small things, I go, da, da, da. I stop myself and I remember the bigger things, the things that I actually did accomplish and did good for the day, the things that people said that I appreciate, the things I did for myself that I appreciate. Everyone, appreciation is very empowering. It's going to help you be grateful for the things that you do, and you're going to be accomplishing great goals when you appreciate those things that you're doing. When you're not appreciating it, when you make it feel tiny and stuff, it's going to make you want to think, what's the point? Why did I even try? When you literally appreciate those things for what they did and you appreciate those accomplishments, the more you're going to set those goals, the more you're going to knock them out. Trust me, this guy, Negative Nancy over here, I changed my perspective, everyone. I've learned to appreciate those good things. I've learned to do good things to help myself and not just be focused and ruminating on what went wrong and why I can't fix it. Change the perspective of why I can and what I want to do to fix it. That feedback was intended to help me, not destroy me. Everybody, I'm building myself back up, and gratitude and appreciation is empowering. If I can do it, you can do it, everybody. Make good choices. Appreciate those choices and be grateful for yourself and what you're doing. Everybody, keep it sexy. I'll catch you on the flip side.